Hi, my name is Bobby and today we're going to show you how to set up the Convergent design Odyssey7Q Plus to record 4K ProRes using the Sony A7s. Before we start, make sure your A7S is connected to the Odyssey via a HDMI cable. First, we'll start the setup process at the camera side. Step 1. Make sure the dial is turned to movie mode. So step 2 is to switch off the HDMI info display. To do this, we access the camera's menu. What we want to do is we want to get to this suitcase. So I will scroll up. You can see I'm now selected on the top line. I will now scroll across. Once I'm there, we want to access menu number 3. So I'll just press the down button and we can see it's now lit up with the sub-menu options. I'll work my way across to number 3. And now we want to select HDMI settings. So again, I'll work my way down and select OK to go in there. Now, we need to make sure that this HDMI info display is off. To do that, you just scroll down, hit OK again, and you can see you have the choice of on or off. So now what we're going to do is set our HDMI 4K output. Now to do this, we want to go back a step. So we'll do that. And you can see below that we've got HDMI 4K output. So I'll scroll down to that, hit OK, and now we want 25p. When a notification pops up, just press OK. This is just telling you that you can't record to the internal media. Now what we're going to do is set the HDMI timecode to camera trigger. So basically we're in the same sub-menu again, so briefcase, sub-menu number 3. I need to now make my way down to HDMI settings, hit OK, go down to timecode output, hit OK on there, switch that to on. This will outcode timecode to the Odyssey, which will be recorded with your video signal. Now what we need to do is set the record control to on. This will allow the camera to trigger recording on the Odyssey. Now what we're going to do is set the picture profile to PP7. This will give you S-Log2. So again, I will access the menu. We want to be on the camera function menu and we want to be on page 5. So that's sub-page 5. You can see here, picture profile. I will hit OK and you'll get the options on the left-hand side of the screen. So I can hit down and work my way down to PP7. And when I'm there, I can hit OK. If you do use S-Log2, you'll need to configure the LUT control on the Odyssey by tapping LUT on the lower menu and selecting F555, which is S-Log2. This LUT setting matches the S-Log on the A7S. Moving over to the Odyssey7Q Plus now, what we want to do is we want to select the type of camera that we're using. In our case, the Sony. So I will hit our record status button up the top there. You can see here it wants to select the camera, so I can just go ahead and tap, and now we can see a whole host of options that pop up. In our case, we're going to select Sony, and we obviously want to record 4K or UHD ProRes, so we'll just tap on that, and it's all popped up as green, and I can now tap away, and that's now selected. Now we just need to make sure that the Odyssey is reading the timecode from the camera. So to do that, we'll tap on this menu here and we can see timecode source, and obviously we want that to be from either SDI or HDMI, in our case HDMI. So we just make sure that's selected, and again we can tap away to confirm that setting. As you'll remember, we set the A7S up to trigger recording onto the 7Q Plus. We're just going to make sure that that setting is also applied to the 7Q Plus. So again, we'll just tap on the settings menu up the top left. You can see here it says record trigger, record button. Now that's the button up there. What we want it to do is actually trigger recording when the record button is pressed on the camera. So again, I'll just tap onto that. You can see we now have some menu options. We'll tap camera because that's where we want the trigger to come from. And again, I'll just tap away to confirm that setting. So now what we're going to do, and this is our final step, is configure our LUT control on the Odyssey7Q Plus. And this is for the S-Log2 monitoring. So what we'll do is we'll hit the LUT button down there. We can see the menu pops up. Be a bit careful, make sure you're selecting S-Log2, and you can see there it actually states it's for the A7S. As I tap this, you will see the image change, and this basically is interpreting the S-Log2 coming from the A7S into a Rec 709 image. Now again, to select this, we'll just tap away and our selection has now been confirmed. That was our quick video, so thank you very much. If you've got any questions or comments, do let us know in the boxes below.